Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you, all of you, for your patience there. Sorry we're a little bit late. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all the mothers out there for all that you do. Happy Mother's Day. You know, our culture and our future are so dependent upon you mothers. And fathers, you too, but mothers, you know, I guess I'm old stereotype maybe, but I think mothers are the nurturers, and we need to listen more to nurturing messages. But thank you for joining us. We've got a program tonight. What we're going to be doing is we've got a lot of good customer reviews that we're going to be sharing. I have some great questions, and I want you to write down any questions you may have so that we can answer those while we're here too. I want to start with some exercise jokes. So a boxer was throwing nothing but right hooks at a punching bag. His trainer walked up and said, "What gives?" The boxer replied, "I'm exercising my rights." That's good. Okay. I've been trying to come up with jokes about people who don't exercise, but most of them don't work out. I asked my wife suggestions for an exercise routine. She said, "Why don't you try lunges?" I said, "Well, that's a pretty big step." All right, so we'll stop with that. I've got more we can do in a couple weeks. Okay, customer reviews. This one's from Nancy. She says, "I don't have before pics, but I have a now pic. I can't say enough good things about my Cellerciser. It's amazing. I've never really liked exercising until now, so I thank you. Trust me when I say I was never really what I thought overweight, but according to medical weight advice, I was 5'2" and 138 pounds. Now I'm 122. All since of April this last year, since using your Cellerciser. I have changed my diet a bit, but nothing drastic. I've never eaten poorly anyway, but now the change is being made. I eat more fruit and vegetables for sure, and I always drink a half my weight or more in ounces of water every day. Just wanted to share with you a bit of what I'm doing and my progress. As you say, we're family now. I'm more pleased with my purchase of my Cellerciser and wanted to say again, thank you so much, Angie." Thank you, Angie. Oh, yeah, she has some pictures. Okay, Elizabeth writes, "I've been rebounding for over 20 years. I've been doing your 10-minute workout on a rebounder for 3 years. I recently purchased a Cellerciser and have continued the 10-minute workout on it, only at a reduced level to allow for greater effectiveness. I have been amazed at the difference in terms of challenge to my fitness level and of comfort, ease of recovery after exercise. There definitely is an incredible difference. I have several friends and relatives who have gotten Cellercisers at my recommendation. I'm so glad that I finally took my own advice. I also want to commend your customer service guy, Jerry, for taking care of replacing a cover on the Cellerciser, even though it wasn't warranted. The cover developed a rip sometime, which I noticed in the second week. His genuine concern for looking out for my satisfaction and for the reputation of your company is special. Thank you all for what you've done to benefit the well-being of so many in such a fun way." Elizabeth. I want to mention just briefly, because during the course of the last couple of weeks, I get a number of phone calls, and since the end of COVID, there have been a lot of typical rebounders that have been introduced on the market. And we're just now finding out over a period of time from the reactions of the customers or the people I've talked to about some of the problems that people are having with them. So they can be less expensive than a Cellerciser, and so they might be appealing initially. But what we're finding out is that over a period of time, bouncing on it, the mat begins to stretch. mat you know won't stretch. But these mats begin to stretch, and when they start to stretch, then the feet start pronating, and they're landing with that leverage against their ankles and their knees, causing hip problems and back problems as well. So that's one of the reasons the Cellerciser is a little bit more to invest in, is because that mat material will not stretch out. It's UV resistant. You can get out in the sun, the rain, the snow, but you can't stretch it out so that your feet are going to be well supported now or 20 years from now, like many of our customers who have been working with us have experienced. David, I'm 83 and saw you at the San Francisco Health Fair in the late 80s or early 90s, Cellercising, and said to myself, I want to look like that, Pop. What year was that? Yeah, a long time ago. I bought 1, 2, 3 over the years, and I cannot thank you enough for the quality of life that I live. Thank you to Cellercising. And thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Here's one from Judith. Judith says, I recently purchased my rebounder. I love this app. Okay, she's talking about the Mr. Rebounder app and how much it is helping develop my workouts. I was repeating the same basic bounce each time. Now I open the app, follow the directions, and I've got my workout done. I started at the beginner's level and really like the progression of movements. I find them easy to learn and it's fun. Thank you, Judith, and thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. This is Christine. Oh, Joan and Catherine. Joan says, I've never liked to exercise and never stick with any type of exercise for long. But I actually look forward to Cellercising twice a day even, and don't want to miss a single day. Even got my skeptical hubby hooked. We went away for the weekend and brought it with us and used it in the hotel room. I'm 69 and the skin on my inner thighs has started to hang in the past year or so. In just a week of starting, I got out of the shower and noticed that the sagging inner thighs were no longer sagging. What? I wish I had taken before pictures, but who would have thought? Joan. Catherine writes, want to report the invisible benefits of Cellercising. My doctor was assured that my cholesterol numbers, I would have plaque lodged in my vessels. The calcium score CT scan was done this morning and I'm at 0. That means no plaque in my vessels. The best news is this fact. In this fact may convince my husband to believe in the bounce. Thank you, Dave, and the Cellerciser family. Catherine, thank you, Catherine. Melissa writes, oh, this is one about Jenna from chat support. She's on our website. I chatted with Jenna twice now, and she's been so understanding and helpful both times. She answered all my questions about the Cellercisers, the exercise programs, pricing, and shipping, and gave me one of her direct email addresses if I had any additional questions. She came across as very knowledgeable and approachable, a pleasure to talk to, which is uncommon on chat services. I will be investing in the Cellerciser and I have Jenna to thank for making me feel comfortable with that purchase. I would also like to add that I've always appreciated proper spelling, and Jenna's was impeccable. Thanks, Jenna. Probably better than mine sometimes. I think spell check is a blessing and a curse. All right. Janet writes, thank you for your help when I called the other day. Jerry had been a great support. He helped me replace the spring inside a leg on my older Cellerciser that I use for therapy for my family member. He walked me through it over the phone. Thanks for your patience with me replacing the spring in the leg. So nice not to have it drop out. By the way, that is an original Cellerciser, probably close to 30 years old now. Jerry said that it is US made with a piano wire, and he didn't let me give up. All fixed, superior customer service. Thanks again. I also received some great advice regarding use of trace minerals from Dave Hall and a better understanding of the workings of the lymph system. Great customer service and a super helpful team at Cellercise. Thanks again. And Martin wrote, I just wanted to tell you I've been using a Cellerciser for about 10 years now. I use it almost every day. My wife uses it too. I've been through several rebounders before I got this one. The springs always broke. I still have the 2 replacement springs that came with the Cellerciser. I'm 67 years old, 5'11", 175 pounds. Boy, we're close. I have some physical problems, arthritis in my hips, bad feet, etc. I'm able to work around that because the Cellerciser is so versatile. I do intervals a couple of days a week, and I use it to warm up before doing exercise bands. I get on and do light bouncing, pulsing where my feet don't leave the mat several times a day. I'm sure this is part of the reason my blood pressure and resting pulse are so low. Wonderful product, one of the best pieces of exercise equipment I've ever owned, Martin. And thank you, Martin. Like I said, we've got a few of these. We've got a lot of good questions too. This lady, you were talking about sagging skin. She really cares about the Cellercise family and making sure that you can see results, because she set some really good pictures. She says, "Hello, Dave. This is Cynthia. It was so wonderful to talk to you today. I hope this is okay for a testimonial. I tried to be clear and concise. I could definitely go on and on raving about the Cellerciser. Laugh out loud. Let me know if you need anything else. We just ordered a new Cellerciser. We can't wait to get it. I want to share a bit of my story to encourage anyone who might be questioning the effectiveness of the Cellerciser. Last December, I decided to get a body scan to find out the status of my lean body mass. After the scan, I was told by my practitioner I definitely needed to increase my skeletal mass, muscle mass, especially my core strength, because it was in the red. I decided to incorporate Cellerciser workouts along with my daily walking. When I went back for a follow-up scan 13 weeks later, I was shocked to find out I had gained 2.3 pounds of core muscle. I shouldn't have been surprised. I definitely felt stronger. My chronic low back pain was gone. The doctor also identified that I had lost fat in my leg muscles. I have lymphedema, and it's amazing what Cellercising has done for the composition of my legs. The icing on the cake is seeing this improvement in my loose skin. After losing nearly 100 pounds, I have plenty of loose skin. Since I've been regularly Cellercising, it has improved! Exclamation points. All I am doing is Cellercising and walking. I can't wait to continue to see and feel the daily benefits. We are adding a second Cellerciser to our home because my husband and 5 children all Cellercise daily too. I'm so blessed that we are able to have fun while strengthening our bodies and improving our health. I truly believe that the Cellerciser is not only a tremendously effective way to exercise, but also appreciate that it's constructed to last a lifetime. Dave, I can't thank you enough for not only creating a fantastic product, but for running your business with heart and soul. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. So Cynthia shows photos that are 20 weeks apart from Cellercising, and then she's going to show some arms that are 6 weeks apart. So you can see the before and the before, after, huge, substantially huge difference. And then in the arms, the back of the arms, you can see before and after, and how well it's firming up. So we'll go over some exercises that you can work for the back of the arms anyway. Okay, Brian Geddes has been a customer of mine for many years. He's a professor, was a professor at Dixie University in southern Utah. And he's been Cellercising for a long time. More recently, he went out on the circuit to train and teach people in an exercise program called pickleball. Called pickleball. And he has been training his athletes and incorporating the Cellerciser with his training program. And he's been having absolutely remarkable results all over the country. He's got a number of people ranked now in between 1 to 10, and he's catching a lot of attention. And I look forward to working more with Brian and some of his athletes, but he writes this customer review. The David Hall Cellerciser is a unique piece of exercise equipment for fitness enthusiasts of all ages and conditions. With its ability to strengthen the entire body from the inside out, the Cellerciser can increase circulation, improve digestion and elimination, melt fat away, improve the lymphatic immune system, strengthen the heart, and improve cell efficiency. I use it every day to improve my agility, balance, and coordination. And it's a perfect choice for anyone looking to improve their fitness, health, and overall well-being. Whether you're a woman looking to reduce stress, a man looking to improve endurance, a child looking to strengthen muscles and bones, or a senior looking to reverse the symptoms of aging, the Cellerciser can help you achieve your goals and live your best life. I highly recommend this product to anyone looking for a versatile, effective, and easy-to-use piece of exercise equipment. As the owner of the Coach's Corner and a certified pickleball coach for amateurs and professional athletes, I can confidently say that our daily 20-minute workout is a game changer for pickleball players looking to improve their physical and mental performance on the court. Since developing this workout, we've seen profound improvements in our athletes' strength, agility, balance, and endurance. The results speak for themselves. As someone who is dedicated to helping players of all levels achieve their goals and reach their full potential, I highly recommend the Coach's Corner daily 20-minute workout to anyone looking to take their game to the next level. Visit our website at www.coachescornerpb.com to learn more about our training programs and resources. So I want to thank Mr. Geddes for that. Christopher Music, Kevin Matos, Dave, we just talked on the phone. I told you about, this is a gentleman, brave gentleman, grateful for sharing his customer review. A lot of the times we're dealing with mental as much as physical. And there's mental exercises that we can do. We can do them on the Cellerciser to leave a stronger impression through the physical activity and moving up and down, the chemical processes occurring within the brain as we are moving up and down and thinking and speaking and saying things out loud. And I've had a chance to share a number of different programs with people, and it's been beneficial. But this is Kevin. Kevin writes, "Hey Dave, we just talked on the phone and I told you about my suicide attempt and how I stabbed myself several times in the abdomen and neck. It's quite a story, guys. It's only by the grace of God that I survived, and because of the injuries, etc. I didn't Cellercise for 3 years until just recently. I'm also diagnosed bipolar, and so I struggle with insomnia and have to take meds to sleep, and even then it's not easy to sleep. I'm on my 5th straight day of doing your 10-minute workout, and I've been sleeping great. As a matter of fact, I had a dream the other night where I believe that God showed me the galaxies and told me that despite some recent tragedies and setbacks, he's going to change my life with the help of Cellercising every day. Also, because of being on meds, I've gained about 50 pounds, but I believe that I can do the workout every day and I'll eventually lose that weight. As I told you over the phone, I think you should make another video of you doing your original 10-minute workout, the one you do personally every day. I believe that's the one I do, as I adopted it several years ago from a video that you did, but I'm unable to find it now online. Anyway, that's basically my testimony in a nutshell. I will give you further updates as time progresses and I see more results." You know, he's a really good guy to talk to, real humble person. He's been through an enormous amount of challenges, and he's coming out of it, and he's seeing himself not just as he is, but as he can become. I appreciate you sharing that. I'm 56 years old, but don't look it. This machine has stopped aging, at least in my appearance. As a stylist, as a teacher, and as a server, yes, I have a lot of jobs. At the end of the day, I jump on the stress. I jump on, and the stress on my body goes away. I love this machine, Dave. Thank you so much. Thank you. Looks like it's Ronnie. I've had a Cellerciser for well over 20 years. It's an older model, but looks just as good as new. Thank you. Judith writes, "Dear Dave, I've been using a Cellerciser for over 25 years, and I love it so much. I never had a balance bar. I recently purchased a balance bar so that I could teach my husband how to use the unit. We are watching your YouTube videos and your workouts, and the sound is not all that great, and we're going to work on that. If you could kindly perform your workouts without the music so that we can hear your instruction, that would be awesome. Or if perhaps you can consciously keep the music at a much lower volume, that would be greatly appreciated. You do have that one 10-minute beginner workout that has no music, and he can hear you very clearly. Could you perhaps offer a 20-minute workout for beginners too? Thank you for offering your workouts. I intend to use my Cellerciser until the day I die, and I really want to keep my husband interested in doing it too. Gratefully, Judy. P.S. My husband said that you are to have your Cellercise logo on your shirt while teaching these classes. I appreciate that. We probably will, and I've thought about that too. But you did mention something. Oh yeah. We've got over 30 pre-made routines on the Mr. Rebounder app. And you can do a routine on the app and you mute the music. So you don't have to have the music. You can just do the routine while you're watching a television show or any other program. And it'll ding in between each movement. So, got it? All right. Got just a few more. Ian writes, I love the Cellerciser. I'm sure I'll be getting another one. I'm completely convinced of the health benefits this exercise has on the body. I think it's one of the best, safest, most gentle exercises a person can do. My wife and I use it every day. I think it has helped her to tone up her abdominals and pelvic alignments in a way other exercises have not helped. Since having 2 children, she would leak a little urine whenever she would laugh, sneeze, or cough. I can't remember at this moment the names of the ligaments which hold the bladder and uterus in the right place, but it is very common for these things to sag and lose their proper position. Anyway, she does not have this problem anymore. I think this is a great exercise, and proper nutrition, more women could avoid hysterectomies. Well, thanks for the great work. And thank you, Ian. I want to comment on that a little bit because, yes, the sphincter muscle that controls bladder. I spoke to somebody earlier today that had several children, and we're going to work with her also. There are specific movements you can do on the Cellerciser to help strengthen the whole abdominal region, the core, if you will, as well as the sphincter muscle, which is a muscle. And we can strengthen that muscle. We do it at any age. And part of that is sitting down on the Cellerciser, I'll show you that in a moment, or standing there tightening and then bouncing to apply more weight to the sphincter muscle over and over so that it becomes stronger, bigger and stronger. And there's not really many exercises out there that are going to do that. So Cellercise has that added advantage. Patty writes, I like this. I remember this story when I talked to her a while back. When Patty says, I'm a female firefighter, and I just wanted to let you know how fantastic the Cellerciser has been for me. I was at the February Peak Potentials Extreme Health and purchased your Cellerciser. Before it arrived, we had our annual physical fitness evaluation from our fire department coach. I told him I was going to start with your program and wanted to be reevaluated in 8 weeks. Because of prior issues with my arms, I had not been weight training for months. After 8 weeks, I went from 13 push-ups, this is Cellercising, to 25 push-ups. My grip strength went from 90 pounds to 100 pounds in my right hand, and the left stayed the same at 95 pounds. I had a 5% overall increase in my max bench press, and my aerobic capacity was significantly increased. Coach hasn't calculated by how much yet. I should know next week. I've lost over 7 pounds, 3% body fat percentage, by the coach's meter. I am only eating more aware and trying to be organic, but I'm not doing any special dieting. I just want you to know I started somewhat inconsistently with it 10 minutes a day, not every day, but within 2 weeks I'd increased the time to 20 minutes and regularly exercised every shift at work so that I was about every other day. I now do a 30-minute intense workout about 13 times a month. I do very active arm movements for about 2 minutes, one slow song worth. I carry a 1-pound weight in my hands. I'm having fun exercising with my iPod to music. I love and having extremely good results. An unexpected surprise to me was that after 3 weeks, I had no more urinary leakage. It had become such a problem for me. I was wearing a pad all the time. Now it's non-existent. Everything at the Extreme Health was great, but your product is the absolute best. My college son Robert remarked the last time he visited that I was just flat out moving much faster. I have a farm and there's always much to be done, but I notice getting up and moving is also pretty much painless now. I'm 51 years old and feel like I have de-aged already 10 years. I've had knee surgery a year ago, and the Cellerciser has also helped that healing process immensely. Thank you, Patty, for sharing that. I want all of us to understand that it almost doesn't matter what our condition is. There's a few exceptions, but for most people, if you're going to be exercising, you can certainly be Cellercising, and it's working from the inside out, not from the outside in. So everything, internal organs, connective tissues, fascia, it's all collagen, skin. Victoria says, I love my Cellerciser. It took me a while during the beginning of the pandemic. Now I cannot stay off it. My energy has totally improved. I am 68 years young, and people say to me that they wish I looked and felt as good as you. You surely don't look your age. What a wonderful compliment. I tell them about my Cellerciser. Get one, you won't be sorry. Just check out the website. Thank you so much, Dave Hall. Thank you all for all those great customer reviews. We went through a lot of them today, but I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what you want to accomplish, but if there is something specific, feel free to write. Brooklyn is behind the computer right now. She can read questions to me.
It says, I'm recovering from a knee injury. I've been walking in place on the Cellerciser up to 30 minutes daily, and it feels great. Someone's wondering how you can tone your arms.
I'm going to come to that. That's great. All right. Yeah, I don't do anything other than Cellercise. That's my whole exercise. I do my routine virtually every single day. I don't like missing a day because I can feel the effects. My flexibility, I can't remember, how old am I?
66?
Yeah, 66. I'll be 67 in a few months. I can't believe it. I am so grateful for what the Cellerciser has done for me and soon for so many of the people I've had a chance to work with. But simple little things like standing here and I never have to stretch. You can, it's a good idea. You can incorporate stretching with Cellercise and you'll grow faster. But Cellercise increases flexibility automatically in all areas of your body. So for me to just stand here and touch the ground, it feels good. It feels good to be able to do that. And I don't have to work at it. It's just a byproduct of what Cellercise does. So feeling younger, performing better, having more energy, better balance, that's all a byproduct of Cellercising, as many of you know. All right, questions. Daniel says, do you want to explore or explain the benefits of having bare skin touching the earth when Cellercising? I've recently tried sit bouncing while grounded to the earth mat with the bare feet, as well as laying down bouncing with the earthing mat on my bare skin or stomach. I felt more energized, had more endurance throughout the workout session, and there was little or no soreness. Well, the Cellerciser should, especially as you've been doing it, you're not going to get sore. It helps to flush out the lactic acid very, very quickly because it's improving the immune system. If that works for you, Daniel, that's great. I want everybody to realize, though, there is a magnetic field all around us. When we're Cellercising and we're moving up and down, at the top of the bounce, we've taken the weight off the body. We're suspended for just that moment. It's at that moment that the Chi masters that I've spoken to say that the Chi in the body is at its greatest level because it has no blockages or restriction. So as we're moving up and down, we're freeing that energy flow. We have people that are airline pilots and they travel around the country and there's something called jet lag. And I really think it has something also to do with the magnetic fields, as well as the ability of the body to adjust rapidly to different conditions. Well, a good number of our pilots take the trifold with them, and they will bounce when they get to their destination, and they'll bounce up and down. And they've told me that it has improved the ability of the body to adapt or adjust very, very quickly. And many of them don't even experience that jet lag anymore. So that movement up and down, your cells generate a field of energy through the sodium potassium pump. They generate a field of energy. And that field of energy is being compromised on a day-to-day basis by conditions we're being exposed to, microwaves, radio waves, stress. When we're on a Cellerciser, we're releasing that energy, we're breaking up the blockages, we're opening up that circulation. And it's physical, but it's also chemical. And as we're moving up and down, the whole body can work collectively more as a whole without those stresses or blockages in the body. So, Daniel, you're probably experiencing some of that too. Tiger's Eye, okay, writes, more on veins, please, David. Veins, one-way valves. The movement up and down on hardening of the arteries is the #1 degenerative disease. So as we move up and down on the Cellerciser, it's like an internal scrub brush. We're moving fluid up and down. We're pumping with the heart. Makes it easier on the heart, but we're also back flushing the valves. So if we have these one-way valves that we're coming down, they open up, we come up, they close. Well, as they're closing, that pressure helps to open up, gets rid of trapped blood proteins, helps to increase the flexibility of the veins. The movement up and down helps to break up sticky blood cells so that they can circulate more efficiently through the body without a jarring impact. When you do a jarring impact, it restricts that circulation. Cellercise eliminates the impact of typical aerobic activity, so you're getting benefit but without the detriment. So I hope that helps. And as far as veins in the lower extremities, I'm going to interject because I don't know exactly what all she's looking for, but the weakest area of circulation we've talked about, that is going to be in the lower extremities. It's the furthest area from the heart, and the heart's having to work against gravity to help pump that circulation back through those one-way valves up to the heart. And sometimes it's difficult, and so you get these little spider veins and varicose veins, viscosity issues, as a result of the pressure that's been built in the lower extremities that can't find its way back up effectively. Well, when we get on a Cellercise every day and we move up and down, we help to move that fluid through the one-way valves. We're on the Cellercise, our heels are moving up and down, so the calf muscle is flexing, and that calf muscle helps to create the pressure needed to help move that fluid back up toward the heart, so it can help reduce edema, swelling, and varicose veins. All right. Does rebounding on the Cellerciser help with incontinence? And that's what we're talking about, the sphincter muscle and bladder control. I'm going to show you, Brooklyn, I'm going to sit down. Can you move that camera so it kind of follows me? But when we start off sitting down on the Cellerciser, we can keep our feet on the floor, and by putting our hands next to our hips, just bouncing up and down. This is easy. We're sitting back a little bit so we don't just have the vertical pressure on a weak area of the body. As we're sitting back, we have a little bit more support. And the moment we sit back, all of these muscles tense up anyway. And so they're going to be tight. As we start to move up and down, we can take away our hands as the back gets stronger. Take away our hands and we're moving up and down. This is all being done from the inside out. And as we get stronger again, you can take it to various different levels. And gradually, when the leg gets tired, lift up the other leg, and eventually, you've seen me do it before. You lift up both legs, bounce a little higher. We're going cheek to cheek, and you're working the obliques or in and out, or up and down. And that's all going to be really working the core. Now, another way to do that, I'll keep my shoes off here, is to be on the Cellerciser, and as you're moving up and down, you do the old Kegel, you tighten that sphincter muscle, you just tighten your bladder and then bounce. So you're putting more weight. So you're tightening, it's weight bearing, so that sphincter muscle can grow stronger, but without jar. From there, we go to work more on the core. And that's when we're Cellercising, and I've taught my daughters the same thing, is you want to jog, but lift your knees high. Because when you're lifting your knees high, you're working more of the core. So we start off just like this. And as we're lifting the knees up, yeah, how tight that is. As you get stronger, you can tilt slightly. And now as you're jogging, you can go slow, you can go fast. But as you're coming down, with that leg coming up, it's going to build and strengthen your core. All right. David, do you do any exercise other than the Cellerciser? No. I'll do some push-ups occasionally just to see how many I can do. I'm still doing over 100. So, John says, why do I touch the floor when I jump on the Cellerciser? John, you won't hit the floor on a Cellerciser unless you're jumping like on a big trampoline or you have your feet together. The triadaptable spring on the Cellerciser, if you keep your feet apart, you utilize more of the spring. So, but the purpose of the Cellerciser is not to jump up and down like on a big trampoline. It's not about how high you jump. That really doesn't matter. Your body's floating. It's not working. It's just floating. That's for big trampolines and for fun. But for the Cellerciser, most of the work is within the first 2 to 3 inches above the mat and into the spring. And you leverage your body weight by altering the angle of your body in different positions. So it's not really, you can tighten your body and then bounce, and that's going to create more weight and strength on the body as well. But by keeping the feet spread apart, I mean, you can jump really high on a Cellerciser. And it's designed not to bottom out. Now, if you weigh more, you have your feet together, and you jump really high, yeah, that's possible.
I'm having a lot of pain in the psoas muscle. Can you please recommend an exercise?
The psoas muscle, yes, a deep muscle. We talked about this last week, I think, or last time. A number of things that we can do. The rocking side to side where we lift our shoulders up, it helps to stretch that muscle inside. And also it's great for the back. But this movement here where we tilt and pull that shoulder up, just like this, and you can actually feel it when you get to the point where you just kind of tilt like this. You're kind of pushing out and tilting up. Start off gently, you don't want to pull anything. But this movement here is really good for stretching those muscles, which is nice. And then the gentle twist, which helps to create balance again in that body. Other techniques, if you have a balance bar on, no, I don't have that on. And then kicking your legs back, you're kind of creating some stretch here as you're building up your back too. But that, I think this here, right, this movement is wonderful. Wonderful for that. Okay. Julian writes, is it okay to wear shoes? I never did, and I have severe foot issues, especially in my right foot, so I can no longer do the trampoline unless I'm wearing sneakers. My son has been doing it faithfully and just started feeling the same thing, so he started wearing sneakers. Is it okay for us to continue wearing sneakers so that we can use a Cellerciser until our foot issues clear up? My right foot started in my toes and started bothering me last September. I can hardly walk at times and need to keep sneakers on all the time when dressing up. Let's talk about that. Okay, there are some people, ligament tendons. I know a few years back, I crushed this foot. I put my foot behind a stand-up forklift. And as it was coming to a stop, I put my foot behind in between the end of the forklift and ran into a bag of springs, and I broke the metatarsals on top of my foot. And that's been an issue with some foot pain problems too. Now I know bones and muscles over time can actually realign, and issues can often fade away. There are times where it might be helpful to have a little additional support. So you have a medical condition, consult with your doctor. But one of the things that I've done is I'll take some soft-soled slippers. I don't have any up here. Soft-soled slippers where you have movement in the foot. The reason I want to see some movement is a lot of the foot problems we have today is because the foot has lost a lot of its flexibility. And then we go out and we do something strenuous, and the fascia or the ligaments or the tendons are actually pulled or damaged through the increased stress. Shoes are more restrictive, and so your foot doesn't have that same kind of movement. But the problem with wearing shoes on the Cellerciser is your foot wants to move to support your natural alignment, and you're doing different movements on the Cellerciser. If the foot is restricted by a shoe, and it wants to move to support your natural alignment, but it can't, often that can create more foot issues or problems. So what I've done and encourage is people can wear a softer soled slipper that has movement in it, but some support. As we're creating some movement in that foot over time, that those muscles and ligaments and bones start to become more flexible to support your natural alignment. And again, not the alignment of the shoes. I hope that helps. But yes, if you need to, wear some additional support. Your situation, I would consult with your doctor, or feel free to have your doctor give me a call and we can talk about some of the different approaches that we have on the Cellerciser. Nadie says, how to maximize strengthening bones. Okay, it's all weight bearing. When you tighten your body and you bounce just flat-footed, as I'm moving up and down, all of that weight from the top of my head all the way down to the bottom of my foot, and it's almost identical because the G-forces slow down and speed up. And when we measure those G-forces, not just at the bottom of the feet, it's at the top of the head all the way through the body to the bottom of the feet. It's a weight-bearing activity. So that increase of weight over and over on those bones help those bones to become stronger. And we've got some great customer reviews you can read about people on our website who have improved their bone density, some of them significantly, which some doctors say that's not possible. I don't know. All right. How to firm up saggy, crepey skin and see muscle tone in the arms, abs, legs, like bat wings on the arms. Okay, you heard me read some of the customer reviews of people that have had those issues and they've improved. Some of it's genetic, I'm told, and skin can not have that same resistance or collagen, but collagen is a protein fiber. So if you have a normal makeup of the body and you start to move up and down, the collagen, because it's weight bearing, the collagen is going to firm up. The skin cells can firm up. And so just the movement up and down alone can help tighten and tone the skin. Beyond that, you can do exercise movements, but again, the skin itself is being exposed. They're doing push-ups every time you land at the bottom of the bounce. So the skin cells have to firm up. It's when they get weak, they sag. You know, I'm going to come to another question right here. Somebody was asking about the face. Face is also home based on collagen. Those are also protein fibers. When people are not exercising or they're being exposed to gravity, gravity is always pulling down. As the body gets weaker, everything starts to fall down. Same thing for people in their mid-30s. When they were young, everything was sitting up here. And as they get older, everything starts to drop, and we think that's part of the aging process. You even see it in books. And in books, they say, well, yeah, everything's kind of, this is what you should look at like at 30, and this is at 40, and this is at 50, and this is at 60. And thank goodness I don't follow that. But those internal organs, they fall, they get weak, because we stop bouncing up and down like we did when we were children. We start to move up and down again on the Cellerciser. You can wear some support if you want, but that movement up and down is going to cause all those connective tissues, including the collagen in the skin, to become more resistant to the weight. That's just how it works. Okay. Ollie writes, Cellercise, it says, can you please refer me to the studies on this, that the rebounder works 75 trillion cells and burns more calories than swimming, running, etc. Dr. Paul E. DeVore published his findings in the Journal of Bariatric Physicians based upon research that was done on trampolining back in 1979. There's been more research since then, but in that research, he showed that trampolining could burn calories 11 times faster than walking, 5 times faster than swimming, and 3 times faster than running, but without the jarring effect. NASA Ames Research Center did a study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology where they showed that Cellercising was over twice as efficient as treadmill running, but it offers a whole lot of benefits that you're not going to get with treadmill running. And that was at equivalent levels of oxygen uptake in their studies. Well, with the Cellerciser, it's even more intense with typical trampolines because you're moving up and down many more times per minute. A lot of units are more sluggish. They're coming up and down like this. Nothing wrong with that. Generally, it's because you want to do a flip or some trick. So you have to get your position. But a Cellerciser is not for doing tricks. It's for doing fitness. And so it has more resistance with movement, and it's, again, it's more intense. So again, it's many more times per minute. I hope that helps. Okay. Tony writes, can you talk about the health bounce and all of its benefits? I got my friend the Cellerciser. Her health hasn't been good over the last couple of years. The most important movement that I teach people we can do on a day-to-day basis to get on the Cellerciser and do the gentle baby bounce, just like this. Lift the heels up and down. As we're moving up and down, we're pumping the calf muscle. The movement up and down is increasing circulation, both in the lymphatic system as well as the circulatory system. It's challenging our proprioceptors and our balance and our equilibrium. It is all weight bearing. If pumping the calf muscle helps feed circulation from the lower extremities. That gentle health bounce, I don't think it's optional. I really think it's a wake-up call for everybody. Every morning we should do it because it stimulates the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, the liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, internal organs throughout the entire body are gently being worked collectively together all at the same time. I don't know of anything better. So yeah, that baby bounce, get rid of stress and tension. You look at a baby when they're under stress, you'll often see a parent take the baby, put them over their shoulder. They gently bounce the baby up and down. We're too big to be put over somebody's shoulder, but we can get on the Cellerciser every day and gently move up and down. And as we're gently moving up and down, we can relax the shoulders, the back, the buttocks. Try this just before you go to bed. Just relax. And then go directly to bed. You don't have to toss and turn to get rid of the stress and tension. All right. Address toning up triceps and biceps. Okay. And we have these resistance movements. They're also on the Mr. Rebounder app now, but it's pushing down to the, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's for the biceps, but it's also working the tricep because you're resisting. You're pushing down and pulling up at the same time as you're going down. And then for the back of the arms, you do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll feel that. You do 20 of those, and it's it builds and strengthens, but you're not tearing down. See, with typical exercise, you can only do it every other day because the body has to repair itself. But with Cellercise, you can do it every day, several times a day. You're taking the weakest of cells, and all you're doing is improving them, strengthening them. Okay. Would love to know what exercises on a rebounder to do while healing from bunion surgery. Again, check with your doctor on that. Cellercise is very gentle. You probably have to have some support there. And then flat-footed just to pump circulation. We've even had people who have the balance bar connected to the unit, and they'll put their foot over the side. You just jump up and down with the foot over the side of the Cellerciser. And this movement right here is helping to pump and increase circulation so that it can help promote the healing process. Having difficult time setting up the wireless module. It is paired and shows on the app, but when I go to the settings and press connect, it comes to the scan screen. Not sure, I'd have to see that, but I'm going to take you through real quick so you can see how to set up the little wireless module. So from here, let's go back to the beginning. When this opens up, and you go into the Cellerciser, you have the little hamburger thing. Just kind of click that, go down to where it says settings. So go down right here where it says settings, the fourth one down, hit settings, and it says connect Bluetooth device. So I'm going to press the button on the Bluetooth device first. So this is what it is, and it fits on the bottom of the Cellerciser, and it measures the number of bounces, the amount of time you're on it, the number of calories you burn. It's got an intensity meter that interfaces with the app. So when you add this, so it's got a little button on the back. I'm going to push it so you can see. It turns red and then green. Now it's active, but it's not connected. So I'm going to put it back on the slide right underneath by the webbing here. And then I'm going to say connect the Bluetooth device. And it's disconnected. It shows me the amount of battery life I have there. I'm going to hit connect. Now it's connected. And then you go back to the beginning. You pick a routine. And that's the fat eradicator. And the moment you hit start, you have a little orange bar that shows up here on the side. You grab that orange bar, it pulls out, and you've got the number of seconds for that movement. You got the intensity meter, you got the number of bounces, and the calories burned. And so you can see as I move up and down, that will start to activate. And if I want to do more of an intense activity, you'll see that working too, but it will show you the number of calories burned and how that works. So that's that should answer that question, I think. We've got over 30 pre-made routines for beginning, intermediate, advanced, and seniors. Okay. Tammy writes, what is the correct form or posture to have when bouncing? I have anterior pelvic tilt and experience back pain after bouncing. Are you supposed to posterior tilt your pelvis, squeeze your glutes, or tighten your core? Tighten your core, yes. Thank you for any advice, info that you can share on fixing anterior pelvic tilt using the Cellerciser. This area here is tilted that direction, and when it tilts, it gives you more of a sway back, and it can cause back issues. So there's several things that we can do on this Cellerciser. One, starting off, just gently baby bounce first, rock, gently tilt side to side, pushing down with your hips. You're working the vertebral joints in the back to help open up the muscles and pump circulation. Gently twisting takes it to another level. Techniques that I show you on the Miss Rebounder app, such as taking your elbow, and normally I have the bar connected on this, and you just lift your elbow up, tilt a little bit to the right, and then we're going to gently bounce and take our right foot and cross it in front of the left foot. So as we're doing this, we start to stretch those muscles in the lower back. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Tilt, and you're just stretching the area that you have more curvature, which is common, you'll feel a little bit more stretch in that movement. Those are some of the basic movements. Now, yes, tightening your stomach can help. Doing the stretch movements where you see me do this, where you bend the knee and grab the frame. When you have the frame, you just start to stand up as much as you comfortably can, and then you get to a certain point, and then you start to gently bounce, and then you can stretch this direction, and if you have a tightness in that lower back, you're really going to feel that. But it's a great move because you can just kind of tilt backwards a little bit too to increase that flexibility and stretch. Good questions, guys. Jeez. All right. And yes, when you're regularly bouncing, you tighten your core. And that's the other thing. These other movements, such as jogging in place, tilting slightly, that's going to help work this core. That can help pull that around. Okay, what is the best time to do this workout? As soon as you wake up or even in the afternoon? Sonia, if you can do it first thing in the morning, I think it's really important for this reason. When you sleep at night, your body, everything slows down. The lymphatic system isn't circulating nearly as efficiently. Fluid tries to find its natural equilibrium, so you get a little more puffiness around the face or the eyes. Is very common. We get on a Cellerciser and we start to move up and down. That's the wake-up call. The millions of one-way valves in the lymphatic system start sucking. You start to get the circulation going through the body. I'll notice puffiness on the eyes start to go away just through that movement up and down. So it's like warming up a car, I guess. You're warming up your body so the circulation works better, it responds better, you feel better, you've stimulated the entire body at the cellular level, and your body's literally in a different state. So if your blood cells are sticky, but you've been on a Cellerciser 3 to 5 minutes, it helps to break up sticky blood cells so that they can circulate more freely through the body. So yes, I think in the morning best. In the evening before you go to bed, to get rid of this stress, tension, and blockages that occur during the course of the day as well. Okay, I read that using the rebounder to help with a meniscus tear helps. What's your answer to this, David? And of course, many of you know, goofing around with my daughter back here, several years ago, I ripped up my meniscus horizontally and vertically in more than one area. And they told me that, because I would bend my knee and you could see it popping out of place. It was weird. The doctor told me, don't do that. I said, what's wrong? Does it have to be reset? They had me get an MRI. I had torn the meniscus. Doctors recommended I get surgery. And I didn't. I got a knee wrap and I started doing the exact same things. In fact, it was interesting. I think I mentioned this last time, but the doctor said that they saw lesions in my meniscus. And I said, what do you mean lesions? And they said, well, it's where you've ripped it up before. I said, it healed? Yes, it healed. Oh, why wouldn't it do it now? Oh, this is too bad a tear, he said, and at your age, he said you need surgery. Well, I didn't get the surgery. I did get a knee wrap though. And I started to gently move up and down. And then I started to rock side to side towards the lateral knee just a little bit. And then I started working on strengthening the supporting muscles and ligaments in the knee. Eventually, I was doing the ski patrol. And then after that, I started doing the more intense ski patrol. It took a year. But I remember being on Fox News, and when I stuck my leg out, sat all the way down to the ground, stood up again, I realized it's fine. And it hasn't bothered me since. I'm grateful. So yes, the body has a remarkable capacity to heal. But if you want it tomorrow, sometimes it takes longer than that. So, all right. Can you recommend exercises to tighten the facial muscles while rebounding? Actually, I can. All right, when you tighten the muscles in the face or skin and collagen slides over the muscles. if you do a little fish face, you kind of smile. You smile with your cheeks. Smiling with your cheeks, all the muscles tighten up right there, right? And you're going to add weight to it. So the muscles are going to firm up because you're holding them in place as an isometric with an isotonic as well. But the skin and collagen that forms around those muscles can start to tighten around the musculature of the face itself. So I asked you, how do you get a skin cell to do a push-up? You Cellercise. Lorraine, what was that?
That's just funny.
Oh, thanks. Lorraine writes, hi Dave, what are the best exercises to increase lung capacity? Wow. I am amazed by this movement. Most of this I was led to because of personal experiences. And when I say led, it wasn't by anybody on earth, it was just inspiration. I give credit to the man upstairs who inspired me. But, and I think I talked about this recently, but it's the power breathing, where you bend at the knee, your arms go up, you breathe in through your mouth, come down, breathe out through your mouth, and it pumps the lymph system all throughout the chest cavity area, great for men and women, and that increased circulation. You're also exercising the bronchial tubes in the lungs, so it goes like this. Yeah, over time, that it can change your voice quality. It can get to the other 1/3 of the bronchial or lungs that most people don't get enough oxygen to, and it can strengthen the bronchial tube. So initially, when people start off, they're often very wheezy, and it can take a little bit of time, weeks, to really open up and strengthen those bronchial tubes and lungs. But again, always check with your doctor if you have a health condition. How can women over 50 strengthen the pelvic floor with the Cellerciser? I think we talked about that in the sit and bounce and whatnot. And I think, a couple more. Okay. I tend to lean forward when I walk. I want to stand up straight when walking. Can rebounding assist me in standing up straight? My right shoulder is higher than my left shoulder. Can that be corrected through rebounding? What are your thoughts and advice? Greatly appreciated. You know, what's interesting about Cellercise is that if you have an imbalance in the body, but you're moving up and down equally in the body, muscles, bones, ligaments can start to move to support your natural alignment. So the area that might be tighter on one side can help loosen up. The area that is loose on the other side can help tighten up. So this gentle movement up and down, even the twisting. When we work with chiropractors, and I think they are so underrated, there's so much that happens in the body in chiropractic. The more I've learned about it, there's good chiropractors. And there are some that aren't maybe as good, but when you have a good chiropractor, he can help expedite the whole healing process within the body. Now, when they make an adjustment, the muscles and the bones are generally not used to the new alignment. And so people pull themselves back out of alignment. But with the Cellerciser, after an adjustment, we bounce up and down, the muscles flex around the new alignment without pulling it out. And it expedites the whole healing process. When I'm doing a gentle twist, we teach this to baseball players, tennis players, and golfers, because they have what's called golfer's back, where they're constantly working on one group of muscles on the body over another group of muscles. And that can affect their overall health in the back because there's a torque there. So we get on the Cellercise as we do a gentle twisting or movement, we can help loosen all those muscles up again and improve balance, restore balance in the body. So hopefully that helps. Oh, my right shoulder is higher than my left shoulder. Yeah. You ought to test it after you've been on a Cellerciser. When you Cellercise, take a look. We do this exercise with doctors and chiropractors too, where they'll have their patient sit with their back up against the chair and then they lift their legs up. And invariably, very often, one leg is a little longer than the other. And that could be curvature, hip displacement. There's any number of things that can cause that. But what happens is when we get them on the Cellerciser and they bounce up and down, and then they're tested again, their legs are equal or almost equal just from that short period of time. But it shows the dynamics of how powerful Cellercise can be. Is this anything similar to a mini trampoline? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're all mini trampolines. They're called by different names. Mini trampolines, rebounders. I call it a Cellerciser. It's not a typical rebounder, and it's certainly not a typical mini trampoline. They're not all the same. They're not created equal at all. You know, some use bungee cords, and they're fun. But every time those bungee cords heat up, they break down, and pretty soon you've lost the resistance and you're sinking more and your feet are pronating more, or the mats are canvas mounted or plastic mats instead of what we use. And although they look the same, the mat starts to stretch as you're bouncing up and down, or many units may not have the same quality steel. In fact, our steel is unique, so that you sink in the unit and it doesn't have enough lift. So you're really not getting the pumping action or the G-forces, so you don't get the results that you would get on a Cellerciser. So yeah, they're not all the same at all. And unfortunately, sometimes people have to go through a process where they like the bouncing up and down, they've never experienced the quality of it like a Cellercise unit. What benefits are there if you do this longer than 10 minutes at a time? Depends how many calories you want to burn. There's great benefits for it, but it's not the amount of time that matters. Cells don't have watches. It's how we challenge the cells within that amount of time. So it's more of the intensity. And as you improve, a 10-minute program can be very intense for one person and easier for another person. But the intensity is what really makes a difference with how the cells have to adapt. So, Britta, do we have any other questions?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. If there's anything that we shared with you think might be helpful to somebody else, please share it. Keep in touch. Keep Cellercising. And again, remember, you don't have to work out when you can play in. We'll have another program in a couple weeks. And if you have anything specific that you would like me to address, then please, by all means, write to us so that we can collect those questions. And if you can't wait and you want to talk to me, give me a call as well. Thank you. Have a great week. Stay safe. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.